Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Missy. Thanks for joining me again for another process layout video. This one's for the Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2015 April Hip Kits, and that's the picture that I'm going to be scrapping. It's a picture actually, of me and my husband from 2003 in St. Lucia, standing by this beautiful waterfall. And so what inspired me to pull this picture out from the archives was that green wood grain Webster's Pages pattern paper, and it just screams tropical to me. So I wanted a tropical picture, and so that's where my head was going in the beginning of this process. So I wanted to get some mixed media in, and I pulled out one of those Heidi Swapp watercolor cards that came in the color kit and the Prima watercolor pencils, and I'm doing the same technique that I tried last time, where you just take the pencil, the tip of the pencil, and put it right on your paper and put some water on your brush and just basically paint right over the lead, and it just bleeds right onto the paper beautifully like that. And it's really fun and easy to do, and it's easy to, blend the colors together. When I would get some of the pinks and oranges together, it would make a pretty tone, and the yellow and the orange would kind of mix together. So it's kind of fun, and I didn't want to put any green on it because it was going to go on that green pattern paper. And I'm really not a huge green fan, but that green paper is gorgeous, and I just love it. It's so pretty. So I'm going to take that card and I'm going to cut it diagonally, trying something different for this layout. And I thought, well, I'll just kind of cut it in half there and use just that portion of it, just to give it a different look, something different. So I'm going to layer some vellum behind my picture. I've been doing that a lot lately. I don't know why. I just like the look of some messy, subtle paper behind the picture there. And this month the vellum is more white. You can still see through it, but it's not as thin as some other vellum, and I really like it. It's really it's like a frosted, I guess you could say. It reminds me of a shower door. You can kind of see through it, but not. So I picked some papers from the American Crafts 6x6 paper pad there that I want to use that just look like tropical colors to me. I think of really bright, bold pinks, oranges, yellows, and of course the green. Love it. There's a lot of green in my picture, so it's just mostly green and neutrals, so I really wanted to go loud and crazy with the background to really give it that tropical feel. So I just pushed the paper around here to try to figure out what design I wanted. I really didn't know what kind of design I was going for. I wasn't using a sketch or anything, so I just pulled out a lot of different things and just kind of play around with it and keep messing around until I find something that I like. And that paper with the zigzags and the stitching look on it, it's kind of a reddish orangey color. It's really pretty and bright. I wanted to use that Floral Today piece, so I stick it up there at the top. Now here's something that I thought I would give it a try. I didn't know how it was going to turn out, but I take one of those Heidi Swapp wood veneer pieces, and I wanted to color it. So I thought, well, I'm just going to use these watercolor brushes, or watercolor pencils, and see how the wood takes it. And it turns out it worked really well. I used the pink and the orange, and I just kind of kept layering the color on there and adding my water to it, and it turned out exactly like I had hoped it would. So I was pleasantly surprised at that. I do add a little bit of gelato there just for a little bit more of a color difference, different tones and blending shades and things like that, but it turned out really nice. I was impressed. That's me going, ooh. You couldn't hear me because I blocked it out, but I was excited that it turned out, because sometimes things you try are disaster. I'm taking some more of that vellum and just using some little pieces of washi tape to hold it down. Again, I like to back the open spots of wood veneer there so you can see it a little bit better. Sometimes for me it blends in with the background and can't really make out what it's saying. So now I'm doing what I was doing before, just taking things and kind of saying, do I want it to go here? Do I want it to go there? I knew I wanted to use these frames I didn't know if I wanted to use the yellow one or the blue one or both. I think I only wound up going with the yellow one. Now I decide to add some blue, and I want to make it more of a bold blue instead of a lighter teal. So I just take the watercolor pencils and some gelato and kind of give it some smudges there to make different tones in the blue. Make it a little more bold. Because at this point, I really didn't want to do anything to that green paper. It's just gorgeous as it is. And I just wanted to kind of leave it alone. So at this point, I kind of know the direction I want to go with the papers, so I start gluing things down. And yeah, I went with the yellow frame there instead of the blue one, but I do wind up adding lots more blue. I feel like I'm being really indecisive at this point. I didn't want to, I cut out a lot of this for the sake of editing, but there was a lot of time spent with me just moving the paper around, going, do I like it here? Do I like it there? And I didn't want to bore you to tears with that because it took me a while to settle on where I wanted everything. Okay, so I think I've got all that nailed down, and I want to use that little circle veneer, wood veneer piece, but I want it blue. So like I did before, I just take the gelato and give it a coat. And I also take the cracked pistachio from last month's kit and rub it in, and I really like how that turned out. It gave the blue a little bit richer look there, and I like the color that it wound up being. And I did add a little bit of cord to the tag. So I went back through the 6x6 paper pad and decided I want to add a couple of other little elements here and there. So I cut out a couple of those circles. Well, I'll cut out some more here in a minute. I jump around a lot. I cut one out and then I put it down, and now I'm going to wood veneer. My brain was totally scattered doing this this page, but the end result you can't really tell. Again, I'm gluing these down on vellum so they will pop a little bit more. I'm going to let them dry before I cut them out. And now I go back to that circle paper. And I just want to tuck them in here and there just to add a little bit more interest. Not really huge elements in the design. Oh, I did add some stitching. I just realized that. I did it around the pink sheet of paper, and I stitched a little bit on the frame there. So I didn't do a whole lot of stitching, but I did add a little bit. So I know that's where I want that, so I'm going to glue it down, and I've got that little cluster adhered, and I'm going to glue it down. I really love that us square. I love the watercolor look that's already done. So I'm going to use my little cutter bee scissors there and cut the vellum off of these arrows. And I couldn't not use the one that said travel and explore because it's perfect for this kind of page. And I did not color them. I wanted to leave them the natural wood color because when I think of tropical, I think of nature and just being, raw and real, and nothing's, wood is wood. And I don't know, it's an outdoorsy page, so I wanted to leave the wood. Does that make sense? Probably not, but I'm probably just talking crazy, but that's how my mind is thinking right now. Okay, so clearly I could not resist adding some gesso to this green paper. I wasn't going to for a long time, and then I was like, let's add some blue. So I took my white gesso and smudged it around several points of the paper, and I wanted it to look like it was kind of coming out from underneath the layers. And I move my thickers there because I decided to add some underneath it. And the white thickers are just going to say St. Lucia because that's where we were. And here comes the blue. And this actually turned out really nicely. I used 2 different shades of the blue there. And I just wanted some extra pops of blue. And so I just added on top of that white gesso. And I was very surprised at how bold it showed up, because sometimes when you add gelatos or paint to, a colored piece of pattern paper, it doesn't show up that well. So that's where the gesso comes in really handy, because it kind of whitens everything out and allows the paint or the gelatos or whatever it is to really show up really well. So when I first started this, I thought, oh, what have I done? I should have just left the green alone. It was pretty as is. But the more I did it, the more I liked it, and it looks a lot better in the final photo there. I decided to change out that orangey red color with a pink sheet there, and then I'm going to go back and add my title, and I kind of layer those thickers underneath the edge of the blue and the pink, just because I wanted it to. I didn't want it, it's not the title, but I wanted it on the page because I wanted to document where we were. Now at this point I have that big open spot right there to the right of the picture, and I know I want a title to go there, but I don't want to completely cover up the pretty paper that's there with the multicolored chevron, the big chevrons there. I didn't like that. I took it off. I decided to not go with the gold, and so I took a break from thinking of title. I went with my thread because I knew I was going to do that, so I thought I'll just go ahead and do this now and get that done while I'm still thinking of how I want to do my title, because I wanted to do something off my Cameo, because I don't know, I love doing cursive fonts, or scripty type fonts for titles. So I thought that the bright pink thickers that came in the kit would be too much, and I've already used the white ones. I didn't want to add in any black because there was no black in this layout. So none of them were kind of gelling with the look I was going for. So I wind up using Paradise that I cut from my Cameo on some white cardstock. Here I'm just taking the little package of crepe paper. There's sequins. There's some sequins, and these are, I think they're just like sequin flowers, little pops of gold, but they're more of a matte gold. They're shiny, but they're not like brassy. So I stick a couple of those down. Because this is a tropical layout, I wanted some flowers, but not too many flowers. So I take some of the bright pink ones and some of those matte gold ones and add those in. It's funny how when you see some things in your kit and you think, I would never buy this on my own, and then you think, oh, I'm never going to use this. It's not my style. I'm not going to, I don't know how I'm going to even incorporate this into a page. And then voila, something like this happens where it's the perfect thing for what you're going for. And it winds up being exactly what you needed. And that's how those little flowers were. And I think Kimberly knows this when she puts these kits together. She's a genius because she puts the most amazing products together. And I love every kit. So those little American Craft epoxy puffy stickers are so cute. I added the map. It's a map. It's hard to tell down there in the right-hand corner. And now I'm just taking some little El Studio stickers and putting them here and there. This is just pretty much the finishing touches going on here. I really liked how it turned out. I think it's really bright and pretty. I add that Memories chipboard sticker in there and a little bit more thread, gluing it down, and I think I add some teal. Yep, there I go. Little bit of splatters, but not too much. It's not really overpowering. So I was really happy how this turned out. I didn't really know what I was doing in the beginning, but it just sort of evolved as I went through it, and there's the final picture. I think it's really bright and tropical, just like I was thinking, and pleasantly surprised. Here comes some close-ups, and I hope you enjoyed watching this. I had really fun time making it, and if you want to check out these kits, check out the hipkitclub.net. Lots of kits still available, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye.